Welcome back to the show. I am so happy to bring to you today. This is really episode 5 of the Prevention to Prosecution: The Many Faces of Abuse. This is a project by Friends for Life, and it's to help bring some people who are really experts in preventing crime and helping us know how to protect our loved ones from becoming a crime victim. And so, coming up on Thursday of this week is a sort of a kickoff session with a panel discussion. Christine Schroeder-Morin is here with me. You can see her right here, Christine.
Hello.
So we've been talking about this for a few weeks now,
We
and
have.
this is the week we're going to be gathering at 11:30
Yes,
at the
ma'am.
Hot Cog building.
Yes.
And this is an opportunity for folks to really learn more about the different programs that are going to be coming up across the whole fall.
Right. This is
And
kind of a
presenters.
sneak peek.
A sneak peek.
sneak peek.
That's Thursday. And so we've got with us a couple of lawmen, which I'm so happy
ma'am.
to have Mike Sine, who
Yes, ma'am.
is with the McClellan County Sheriff's Office. You are a detective with them
Yes.
to kind of deal with cyber type issues and
Cyber fraud and financial crime. Yes, ma'am.
and Matt McCallister, Sergeant Matt McCallister with the Waco Police Department. So you both are going to be presenting on November 6th
Correct.
a program. So tell us what, overview, what you'll be talking about.
Pretty much a snapshot in a lot of different types of scams and frauds that we're seeing across Central Texas, specifically Waco, McLean County.
Because that changes.
Yes, and just like how we're changing to catch up and how to catch these criminals, they're going to school and they're learning ways to get around our investigations. So we're trying to kind of keep everybody up to speed on how these scams and how these fraudsters are scamming our citizens in our community. But we're going to be talking about ways to prevent it, what to look out for, not just on the cyber end of it with computers and computer security, but also on the financial and the crypto side, because we're seeing a lot of crypto scams in McLean County and Central Texas as well.
So crypto, I don't even understand much at all about. I mean, I know there's a currency called cryptocurrency. I really don't
Yes.
want to have anything to do with that, quite frankly. But
Yes, and believe me, you're not alone.
I'm a
there's-
troglodyte when it comes to that type thing, for
Yeah,
sure.
you're definitely not alone. But cryptocurrency is just a digital currency, just like our U.S. dollar is.
And people actually use this, and
Yes, there are plenty. There's governments, there's financial institutions, there's criminal entities, criminal organizations. They are all in the crypto space.
so, man, I want to talk to you then about you. Been with Waco Police Department for 23 years. You tell me.
Yeah, just about 23 years. So I supervise our financial crimes unit at the
Yeah.
police department. And one of the things that this series is so important for is traditional law enforcement fails with financial crimes. So back in the day, you have a bad actor come steal something off your porch. You call us and we make the arrest and,
Sure.
and we go on about our
Hopefully,
way.
your ring.
Yeah,
bell
hopefully
will-
now you have a ring
Yeah,
camera,
you
right?
can see 'em
Yeah,
clearly.
sure. But with financial crimes, we're seeing a lot of these are going overseas. A lot of these
Oh.
transactions are going. So these are a lot of times preventable crimes that we can prevent through education. And so having these educational series showing red flags that we consistently see, alerting caregivers, alerting people that not necessarily even elderly, but if you care for elderly or if you're in any type of money management, a fiduciary for them, it's good to be part of these series and see the current scams that are going on and some of the red flags that are consistent throughout the scams.
Yeah, I know Friends for Life does serve that role
We do.
for a lot of people throughout the state of Texas. That they just don't have anyone to kind of help make sure they're not being taken advantage of.
That's right. And it's becoming harder and harder because we all tend to, I think, respond very quickly when we get emails, phone calls, and those kinds of things. And that's when we get into trouble. And so if we can be taken in so easily by these scammers and fraudsters, just think about other folks that are a lot more vulnerable. Right?
Well, yeah, even when you should know better, there's certain aspects of human nature that kind of kick in, like, "Ooh, this is a good deal." The old, if it's too good to be true,
Absolutely.
it
Yes.
probably is.
Well, and I think fear plays a big part. I think they use fear a lot of times too.
Well, yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Because they are so sophisticated in commandeering someone's phone. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
can remember getting a message from someone I did not know, and they said, Ann Harder, you called me and asked for money. And I went, I can assure you I did not, but they had my.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do they even do that?
Yeah, it's and without getting into great detail because I want people to come and see our presentations for sure because we have a lot of useful information to help people and prevent their family members or themselves from becoming victims. But there's a whole lot of information just open out on the internet that companies go and unfortunately sell our information, and that's how a lot of suspects end up getting a hold of it. But it's just important to be aware of all all the ins and outs on how criminals are taking advantage of victims. And like you were saying, like there's a fear, there's intimidation, there's a whole lot of different tools that suspects use to persuade these. We have doctors that are victims. I mean, we have highly educated individuals that are falling for them in the fear of criminal charges, being embarrassed, and things of that nature. So it's not just our lowest common denominator individuals. We have highly educated. It spans across the entire spectrum of our civilization, no matter what social economic group that you're in.
Yeah, I can remember years ago at the radio. So, when the first time I was aware of these kind of frauds, what was it called? It was like a paper bag drop. Does that
The
ring?
pigeon drop.
The
Mhm.
pigeon drop.
Yes, the
That's
pigeon
what it
drop,
was. Tell everybody what the pigeon drop is.
So this was actually just kind of an old school scam where it's just a confidence scam where it's an in-person scam. So you'd go and meet at Fifth and Interstate and you'd meet somebody there and they'd say, "Hey, I'm from Nigeria and I just came to America and I have all this money and I want to deposit it into a checking account." And they'd give you the money to go, they'd give you money to walk around, and you walk around Wendy's at Fifth and Interstate and come back and give them the money. And they're like, "All right, now I'm gonna do the same for you." And they walk back, give you the money back, but there's nothing in the envelope. So, I mean, some of the scams, they really seem unplausible
Really,
from the
yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once you're involved in them, you are bought in, and you're just 100% involved in involved in the scam. And
Well, so much of it does revolve around human nature
absolutely.
Mhm.
and the kinds of things that motivate us.
So a lot of the things, and I've had several cases where it kind of gets back onto that they don't want to be embarrassed. They want to make sure that they save face, and when they fall for like a tech support scam and somebody remotes into their device, they allow
Oh,
that
yeah.
remote access because they legitimately think that their
Well, it looks
device
so
is
real.
compromised. Correct.
Yeah.
They call the phone number, they get in contact with the tech support.
Mhm.
Um, and then they allow that remote access into their computer. They say, "Oh, now we found suspicious activity on your computer. To prevent us from calling the FBI or whoever, can you go to the bank, get this much money, take it here, take it there, and deposit it into this account?" There, a lot of people, they when they fall for that, they don't want the embarrassment, they don't want the criminal charges. Even know that there's no suspicious activity on their computer whatsoever. The suspects, when they remote into the computer, they're giving them an image, thinking that it's actually on their computer, but it's not. It's on a virtual device in a different location. It could be anywhere around the world.
Oh gosh, I mean, you mentioned, and I've heard this before. I think it was Inez in a previous episode said, "Yeah, yes, the criminals they're going to school to learn how to do this." I went, "Wait a minute, what?"
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Tell me what you know about that aspect.
Yeah, so
of
like
this.
specifically, if we look at like the tech scams, there's actually scam centers in India that are 100% funded to teach them how to do scams. They have a script. It's almost verbatim each time. Each time you see it, you can listen in on the scam, and it's the exact same verbatim script that they're going down.
Mm-hmm.
And they're actively training people. They're evaluating people. It's like a job over there, and their job is to scam American citizens out of money.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had it as low as 18-year-olds that have fallen for these scams. So, but I think as we age, especially with the tech support scam, that computer is how I talk to my grandkids. That computer
Right.
is how I get on Facebook.
I get my email. Yeah,
Absolutely. And
that's
so
right.
it's such a personal attack that if they're saying, "Hey, you can't use your computer unless you pay me money," or You know, even that alone is enough motivation to do it. And then they're keeping you on the phone throughout the duration. They're telling you, hey, go to the bank. When you go to the bank, tell them that this is for your grandkids' deposit on a card, and they have the whole entire story and backstory that they're having you follow as you go through the scam. And so,
Yeah, I mean, you're saying that. I'm thinking red flags, red flags, red flags. But in other cases with AI, I mean, they're going to be able to take people's voices and they're going to think it's their grandkid calling from a prison in Mexico.
yeah, and I think that's why we kind of started tying in the cybersecurity aspect to this as well,
Right.
because if you have a Facebook photo that's public that anyone can see on your Facebook profile, and it's your kid, and you're talking to your kid or your grandkid, that voice can now be cloned, and so they can call and use your actual grandkid's voice in a scam and solicit the scam that way.
Which, is there any hope? I mean, is there any?
Yeah.
Because it is so.
That's where these presentations and this series is so important
Yeah.
to educate and spread the word, so that way everybody's aware of this, and not just for potential victims. We're talking like potential victims' family members, because they're going to face the aftermath potentially even after loved ones have moved on. There's still family members that are going to have to deal with the consequences, because this is affecting ownership of houses, it's affecting reverse mortgages, retirements, even Social Security. Like, it affects a whole range of different financial avenues that that suspects are getting a hold of.
Well, you mentioned the mortgages. I hear about, and we've talked about this before, someone scamming you out of the title to your house. I mean, that is a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's actually happened numerous times just here in McLennan County. I have
So how does that
victims
happen? How does that?
that there's deed fraud, there's trust fraud. I've known of victims that have, they're under the impression that they won the lottery, and they had to make certain deposits to get the financial gain from that lottery, and they did reverse mortgages on their house, sending all the funds from that reverse mortgage to the suspect themselves. And then also with that, they're doing deeds and doing all this stuff. So when that loved one passes away, and now that mortgage company is coming back for the reverse mortgage, they're doing foreclosures on the house, but it's the next of kin that's now dealing with that foreclosure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's stunning. I mean, it's horrifying.
Yeah.
It's-
So the victimization and the repercussions, if you have maybe a loved one with dementia, a parent or something, right? And because some of these things have taken place, and then you think, hopefully we've stopped it, they pass away, and then some of these things can come to the forefront that
Had no idea that they
yeah,
were.
yeah.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit earlier about, maybe a parent in that generation is like they've handled their own financial affairs and don't even want to share anything about it with family members. Probably not a good plan.
It's good to a fault, right? There's some things that just everyone needs to be aware of. So, like, I know at a certain point, like, I know I'm not going to be able to, financially support myself, right, and manage my finances. It happens to a lot of people, right? And I know that at some point that, yes, getting trusted friends, family to kind of help with the financial aspect, to kind of prevent these scammers from manipulating sensitive population groups are very susceptible to maybe falling for these scams. At least getting somebody outside the box, just like us, right? Anybody could call any one of our offices and say, "Hey, this is what's going on. What should I do next?" And we could tell them flat out, like, "Hey, that's a scam. Like, you just need to move on. Take these steps to protect your identity. Take these steps to stop them from getting in contact with you." But family members need to be looking out for this stuff too, just because we're not. I can't say we're not always accessible, right? But family is a whole lot more accessible, and they're going to see a lot of the indicators that I'm not going to see talking to you on the phone or even talking to you in person because I'm not hugely involved in your life, right? Your family, your friends are hugely involved. They're going to see the indicators long before a victim may see them.
Yeah. And Sergeant McCallister, a big part of this is kind of the embarrassment
Absolutely.
component.
Yeah, I think that there's a stigma, and as we age, we don't want to be seen as inept or that we have dementia. We think that if we fall victim to a scam, that we're going to be seen as, this person needs permanent placement or needs something,
A guardian.
a guardian or some
Yeah.
type, or money management even.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times we have people that are in their 40s, people in their 30s that are falling victim to scams, and it's getting that stigma broken is a huge part of the series as well. Just removing that fear of reporting. And part of the reason why elders are targeted is because we were raised to be trusting. We don't want to be rude. Being rude is one of the worst things someone from the 40s to 70s can be seen as, right?
Especially
Wow.
in Texas.
Yeah.
That's right. In the South.
In
you
the
got a whole
South,
Southern-
you get a phone call. It's rude to hang up on somebody. It's rude to tell them.
Well,
call them a
and some
scammer.
are flat out lonely and they want somebody to talk to.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we see the romance scams come in, right?
I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
So-
I was stunned in looking at some of the graphics from your presentation that the amount of money that is scammed out of people thinking they're going to get a girlfriend or a boyfriend.
Yeah, so reported 2022 is $1.2 billion in losses for romance scams. And that's just what was reported. And so, I mean, every day, I've had people bring loved ones to the lobby and me talk to them face to face in, police gear with a gun and badge at a police station, and they still believe they're talking to an actor. And they think they're dating Ryan Reynolds and sending them money to go to their concerts. And, it's really sad, but when we get lonely, especially if you have a loss in your family and you put something on Facebook, is usually where this originates from. You put a post on Facebook, really sad, miss you, wish you were here, and that's public. Now I have an in, and I can be like, so sorry for your loss, and just just casually starts chatting, and you start talking, and then it becomes a daily thing where you're talking daily to the person. Then all of a sudden, that person is going to start having bad things happen to them. So they're going to have.
Oh, they need help.
Yeah, so they're gonna have a loss in their family. They're gonna have legal troubles. They're gonna have, and I gave your producer a slide to kind of show some of the excuses that we see, but there's about 15 excuses that we commonly see that these romance scams are using to solicit money, and so they're, even if it's something as small as, hey, I want to keep talking to you, but my phone's dying, and it starts off small. So they're like, well, I'll send you an iPhone, so we can keep talking. And it starts off small. And then once you've broken that barrier of financial transactions, it becomes so much easier to get more and more money as the relationship progresses.
Yeah. Of course, we've had our bank card, compromised. And you don't, my husband checks real frequently, which is always good to see if there's any. And the banks are real good about it. If we maybe bought something big, we'll get it up. Did you buy this from X furniture store? I went, yes, we did. So, which is good. I'm glad they're doing that. But yeah, to have to replace the credit card, it's a hassle. But you think, how many people out there have got access to my Visa number? A lot of people do.
Yeah, and just the information from your whichever card, whether it's credit card, debit card, your banking information, right? Anytime that they're going and putting your information on it just to pay normal bills and things of that nature, there's data breaches in numerous different businesses that happen, almost on a daily basis, where they're going into a database for the sole intent of just getting, your debit card number, your CV code, and the expiration date. They don't have a name on the card, nothing like that. They'll just get card numbers, and they'll sell those on the dark web, right? Which most of the stuff on the dark web is all criminal, and that's where they'll go and sell large quantities of debit card information. And then there's criminals out there who will actually take that card number and print it onto an actual physical debit card. And even that little chip is also clonable, to where that chip could be cloned, and they can go and use that credit card, that debit card, no matter where they're at.
Now that's horrifying. A lot more I want to talk to you guys about. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm going to learn maybe some tips and things that folks can use. So you stay with us. There's more of the
Perfect.
show ahead.
For 75 years, Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. No gimmicks, just durable, well-designed bottles built to last. Join us in our mission to amplify life, not complicate it. Because at Nalgene, what goes into our bottles matters as much as the adventures they fuel. Explore more at nalgene.com. That's NALGENE.com.
If I've learned anything in the last year, it's that to show up as my best, I need to make intentional choices. And that goes back to the absolute basics. Number one, it's I have to move. And number two, to stay hydrated.
I have been using molecular hydrogen from Water and Wellness to support my health and well-being. It helps with energy, recovery, liver health, and more. The hydrogen has been a game-changing addition to my own wellness routine. The tablets dissolve into my water and deliver powerful minerals to help my body feel its best all day long.
Smoke Pub was created by a group of friends who share a passion for great whiskey and cocktails. Frustrated by the lack of easy-to-use cocktail smokers, we set out to design something better. Our goal was simple: make smoking cocktails quick, clean, and fun. After countless experiments, we developed Smoke Pub, the world's first electric cocktail smoker. Join us on this exciting journey and discover the magic of Smoke Pub, where unforgettable cocktails begin.
And we're back. This is, of course, a discussion with the Matt and Mike show, is what I understand you're wanting to call.
That's what I call it.
Sergeant
Yes.
Matt McCallister of the Waco Police Department and Detective Mike Sine with the McLean County SO Sheriff's Office. What kind of drew you into this aspect of crime, the whole cyber crime and the fraud and the scams and that kind of victimization of folks?
So when I first came into CID, which is the Criminal Investigative Division here at the Sheriff's Office, I first got there in November of 2023. So I was pretty fresh into investigations, but by that point I was in law enforcement, a good 16 years. So I kind of had a very good footing, a very good foundation to move into the investigator world. But what really kicked off is we're seeing a huge increase in fraud and financial crimes, not just here in Waco, McLean County, but in Central Texas, to where we've seen caseloads double and triple. And another aspect of that financial and cyber world is the uptick in cryptocurrency scams, where when I first got into CID, we were looking at about $300,000 to $400,000 that victims were being scammed out of in cryptocurrency over a 2-3 year period. Since I've gotten into CID, even just since October, my partner and I in our unit have tracked, knocking on the door, $7 million in crypto scams in Central Texas.
That is staggering.
7 million.
Yes.
And so, Matt, I'll ask you that. What?
Sure. So I kind
led
of
you
come
into
from
this?
I come from a digital forensics background, so I was all kind of into the tech thing and into the cybersecurity, and I saw a real need, I guess, in this, especially for the education side that we were lacking in at the police department, and so I really wanted to get the news out to people that, hey, a lot of these crimes are preventable that we're seeing, and a lot of these, your loved ones, if they're telling you this, look for these red flags. And so I think these educational series and things like this are a big part of why I got into.
Yeah, again, this is going to be November 6th at 11:30. Mark your calendar at the Heart of Texas Council of Governments building. Lunch is provided, right?
Lunch is provided, thanks to Right at Home.
And also this coming up on Thursday as well, when the
Yes.
two of you will also be there to talk about your aspect of this, and of course all the other wonderful resources here in the community to help victims. But Sergeant McCallister, you mentioned red flags. So what is it a loved one should look for?
So the big thing is, if you are a victim of the scam, look for the urgency to act is the main one that we see. So a scammer is not going to want to get you off the phone. They're not going to want to stop the communication. So if you're on the phone with somebody who's a legitimate salesperson, they're going to give you an opportunity to hang up and call back. If you're on the phone with someone who's pretending to be a law enforcement officer, we're going to give you grace and give you time to call us back. The main thing there is the urgency to act. That's one of the big red flags that we see. Another thing is payments in unusual methods. So if I solicit you to come, we're not going to solicit you to come pay a fine, but if you had to pay a fine or pay a fee, and they're asking you to buy iTunes gift cards, or they're asking you to go to a Bitcoin ATM, that should be a huge red flag.
Yeah,
right
okay.
off the bat.
Yeah.
But it happens very, very frequently. Yeah.
So the main thing that we try to focus on is, if something odd's happening, call somebody, get another set of eyes on it. Even if it's someone, because when you're inside a scam, it's a completely different mindset than if you're outside the scam. So if you call a third party, even if they're a peer of yours and not law enforcement, they can be like, no, that's clearly a scam. Why are you falling for that scam? And it'll seem silly to them, but to you, it's a dire need.
It looks real.
It looks real and it looks legitimate. And so get another set of eyes on it, call a loved one, call a friend, someone you trust, and have them look at it and vet that information.
And don't feel embarrassed by saying, oh, does this look like a real thing? Or not?
That's right.
Because it can be very real looking.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah, and yeah, for sure.
Well, and that's, I think, in one of the other podcasts that you hosted us on, and you laughed. I remember, because I said, I think we all need to learn to just slow our roll.
Yeah, right. Start the
Just
ROLL.
because we-
Slow the roll. Just kind of tap the brakes a little bit. Even this was one on Facebook. Looked very real. And it was on a timer. You have this many minutes to take advantage of this. And it was too good to be true. It certainly was. Too good to be true.
And that's one of the red flags I actually put in my presentation, is too good to be true offers. So a job offer that's too good to be true, because we're seeing a lot of these work from home scams now.
Oh, yeah. You do see a lot of that.
Yeah, and so that's where you go on a job posting. You're looking for a part-time job, something you can do from home, and the job says, "Hey, we have this job as a crypto analyst or as a logistics manager or some generic title that'll come up, and you end up applying for it, and they'll send you usually money deposited into a bank account." And it's fraudulent money, either through a check or through a fraudulent wire transfer. And they have you cash it out, send them a percentage, and you keep a percentage. And those can be really deep scams. We had one recently that was just under $1 million for one person that couriered almost $1 million. So
That's
Just stunning. I mean,
is,
it really is stunning. So who do you call? So you could call you guys.
For sure.
Call friends
Call
for
friends
life.
for
Friends for
life.
life,
Yeah,
yeah.
Friends for
call
life.
me. Absolutely. I'll be more than happy to kind of walk through, things with somebody and reassure them, whether, they should pursue this or not. And more than likely, I'm sure, we'll always tell them, report this.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Report.
Definitely report. And I could tell you this, that if I don't have that information, I have access to all the resources to where no matter what, you're going to get a legitimate, good answer and a good plan to continue.
Okay, so what are the top 5 scams right now today?
tech support scams probably number one still.
Now, tech support
That's-
meaning something pops up on your computer and it says, "Oh,
You have
what?
a
What does it
virus
say?
detected.
You have
Call
a
this
virus.
call
okay.
this
Call this
1-877 number,
Yeah.
and then you're connected to a technician. Usually these originate in India, but you're connected to a scammer, and they'll say, "Hey, I need to access your computer." But they won't even usually tell you that. Usually they'll just walk you through, here's some steps I need you to do. And they'll have you go to the start menu, and they'll have you type in something executable, which will be a remote desktop client where they can access. And they'll say, just read me that code off of there. And then they'll have access to your computer. And usually while they're doing that, there's one of two ways they can go from that point once they have access to your computer. They can either send you to go get money to fix your computer, or they'll black out your screen and start going to bankofamerica.com, chase.com, looking at your browser history and going and getting your banking information. So we've seen both derivatives of those that are taking place. The most common one is, hey, there's a virus, and they'll run a fake scan on your computer. Well, they're remoted to your computer, so they're going to show your ports that are ported over to them, and they'll say, hey, it's $1,500 to fix it. And so they'll say, but we only take payment in Apple gift cards. Or the popular
that's a big old flag.
Yeah. So the popular one we're seeing now actually is Nike gift cards, because they're so easy to spot. So they'll say, hey, go look for the orange card with a white check on it. And so because usually we don't know what an iTunes gift card is, because we don't normally buy them. But so they'll say, go get a gift card. It's orange. It has a white check. Get as much as you can, usually $1,500, somewhere around there, and then check out with those. And then they'll usually be on the phone with them while they're in the store and say, hey, the clerk's going to question you for buying this much gift cards. Just tell them that, make up some story. Tell them, hey, you're doing early Christmas shopping.
For graduation. Or
kids' graduation, some story that they already have pre-populated that they're gonna sell you. And then they give you that. And then the scary part that we've seen lately is, if you don't refresh that number in their remote desktop client, they'll continue to have access to your computer. So we're getting a secondary scam where they'll call back and say, hey, I'm a scammer. I feel really terrible that I scammed you out of this money. What I'm going to do is remote back in and give you the money back. And so then they'll go to your bank account and they'll change the HTML coding to make it look like they're depositing too much money back. And so they'll deposit, say they scam you out of $2,000, they'll put in $20,000. And then they'll say, I'm going to lose my job. I've made a huge mistake. I just deposited way too much money in your bank account. Can you give me the difference back? And then now they've got you for $18,000 on top of that.
I mean, really.
And so it's a very popular second scam to that first scam. And once you've gotten on their list of people that they can scam, then it's just continuous from then on out.
A mark. Isn't that what they call them?
Yeah. That, and they'll even disperse that to other call centers. And things, and then they can essentially make like a package, right? Like a packet. Like, hey, this is all the stuff that worked for this person, and then they could sell it to other scammers.
Oh, good grief!
Yeah. And so the second one for sure is romance scams.
Right. And you do feel sorry for people, because people are lonely.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're more isolated, since the pandemic, and everybody was really aware of that isolation and need for connection with people. But these are not the ways to do it.
Yeah, but and those ones are also much more long term. Like it could happen for years. I had one victim where it was going on for about 4 years. And
still just knew it was a human being they were. It was a human being. It just wasn't a beautiful woman or whatever.
Yes, no, definitely not. But another big one that I'm seeing is government impersonation scams, where you'll get a phone call and they'll actually like spoof legitimate police departments' numbers and the sheriff's office number. I have a couple of reports now where government impersonation scam, they actually spoof the sheriff's office phone number. So when on your call ID, it comes up as the sheriff's office.
It shows a Parnell McNamara. I'm like.
Yes. Yeah. And so, they answer the phone, say, hey, you've missed jury duty. You've missed federal jury duty, which that's another red flag too. Like, it's federal jury duty, but the sheriff's office is calling me. So that's just a little indicator. But when you're in the moment, you're afraid of going to jail.
I went to all my jury duty stuff.
Yeah.
But that is a scary thing, because they will come and
and then they follow the instructions, staying on the phone the whole time. They'll actually send you a text message of a copy of a warrant. It'll actually have docket numbers. I'll have a whole bunch of stuff on there.
Make it look so real.
And tries to make it look legitimate. They'll give you a set of instructions to pay the fine or pay the bond to prevent you from going to jail.
And Apple cards.
And either
those are usually crypto on those.
Usually crypto ones.
Okay.
They'll tell you, hey, go take $19,000 out of your bank account and go to this Bitcoin ATM and deposit it into the ATM. And they'll usually give them a QR code or something to scan, and that QR code is the digital wallet, like the wallet that you have in your pocket or your purse.
Right.
Right. It's just in digital form. So when they scan that QR code, that $19,000 is being converted into cryptocurrency and sent directly to a wallet that the suspect controls.
Yeah.
And then it goes down a long line of transfers to eventually make it to a federal institution where they can convert that money back into whatever currency that they desire.
Wow. I have a friend whose adult daughter, had woke up in the morning and looked on her bank, and it had totally been drained out.
Mm-hmm.
Someone had somehow been able to access their, how do you, what do you do about that? I mean, I think ended up being made right again, but how can someone just get into your bank account?
Well, that's where we get back to the data breaching that's being reported from, like I said, numerous stores like JCPenney, just normal stores that you go to on a daily basis,
Right.
That have your card or your bank account information saved on there. So when that data breach occurs, all that information is gone out in the dark web. Suspects are getting a hold of it and then using it. I noticed that there's a lot of cases that I've come across lately where it's not just their banking information that's compromised, like their personal identifying information is being compromised and accounts are being opened in their name, and suspects are laundering money, stolen funds from all across the world, laundering it through their bank account and either sending it crypto or sending it wire transfers, or it's going to what we refer to as money mules, where they'll go to a bank account that somebody has access to. Somebody will physically go to the bank, take that money out, put it into another bank account, or actually mail it to somewhere else, and just kind of hop money around in several different ways through postage, UPS, FedEx, MoneyGrams, wire transfers, you name it.
So what are your best suggestions, tips for people to protect? I mean, is it best that, say, I like to get clothes at a certain clothing store, that they not have my credit card on file?
The biggest thing is really
Because it makes it easy.
Yes,
But
you really have to rely on
It's
just
better to punch it in
just
every
your
time.
knowledge and getting education on just maintaining computer security,
Right.
including like if you log into a browser. So like you have like Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, where you actually log into the browser. Where if somebody gets that login information, they get all your saved passwords, they get all your commonly used websites and things of that nature. So just maintaining a good discipline in computer security.
Which
You should
change your
be-
passwords, right?
Yeah, change your passwords. Don't have the same ones. There's a lot of people that want to make sure that your passwords are anywhere between 13, 16 characters, both uppercase, lowercase, special characters, things of that nature. Just don't have the same passwords for every single login, and then change them periodically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You do that?
It's no. Not as often as I should.
So, like I knew one particular instance where it falls back on allowing remote access into the computer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with that remote access, they did something called what's called a RAM capture, where they capture essentially all the RAM memory in your computer. So all your commonly used websites,
Yes.
and that's what allows your computer to know, like, okay, hey, they use this website a lot. We're going to store it in RAM memory, so that way it operates more efficiently and faster for you, right? Well, when they capture that information, that every single website you access, saved passwords. So this particular individual, they got their saved password for not just all their online accounts, they got their password for their Apple ID. And with that, now they're locked out of every single Apple device that they own.
Oh no.
Wow.
And then they go out and buy new devices, don't know that the Apple ID is compromised. So the brand new devices that they just purchased, they log in with their Apple ID, and then they get locked out of their brand new devices.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Yeah.
So it just gets worse and worse. So just making sure that you don't have the same passwords across the board. Don't allow anybody to remote into your computer. I don't allow anybody. No tech support is going to remote into any of my computers, just because I don't. That's just like inviting a stranger into your house, but you don't get to see everything they're doing in your house, and I don't like that. So,
Okay, any words of advice?
No, I think he covered it pretty well there. I think the main thing is that if you have a compromised account, try to change that email address that it's forwarding to. And then two-factor authentication is also big, to where if someone's making a change to your account, it requires a text message to your phone or some other secondary verification, to where you have to have that acknowledgement.
Yeah.
We've seen it a lot on Facebook Marketplace, where they'll actually try to get your phone number, and they'll send you like a Google unlock code, and then they'll say, "Hey, I just sent you a code to verify you're a real person." And so they want that code back. So if someone's ever asking you for a code, that's another red flag there. If they're sending you an unsolicited code that they're trying to verify you're a human about.
Anything, I guess, whatever.
Really anything, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're getting a code to a text message or to an email address,
Right.
you should never share that with anybody. So.
Wow. We always learn something new.
We always learn something new.
Yes.
But these guys also have shared some success stories too. So a lot of times we don't hear, that there's ever been any good results that have,
Well,
come of
hopefully there are
this.
people locked up in jail doing
yes,
this
and
stuff.
we have quite a few. I know some of my bigger cases, they're serving jail time, and they still have some federal charges coming up. So
because I know people have said to me sometimes, what's the point if we're not going to get our money back,
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. And I know a lot of times that's true, but these two gentlemen have both shared some success stories where they've been able to intervene because somebody did act on behalf of their loved one or whatever in a more timely manner when they realize something's not right, and been able to stop. Some, even if you don't get it all back, at least if it's stopped, that's a good.
So I think we're at 1.6 million recovered in the last 3
that's
years.
good.
So that's how much we've actually recovered, gotten their money back on. And that's kind of our main goal on a lot of these, is because even though we are a criminal justice agency, I can't go to India and arrest somebody at a scam center. But if I can stop the money, if I can stop a wire transfer, and a lot of times the banks are really getting better at flagging, fraudulent wire transfers and stuff like that, and holding them up to where we can get it. But that requires a quick report. So that's why this reporting, if you wait a month, you're not getting your money back, almost certainly. If we get it immediately, a lot of times, if you've mailed money, we can stop it. I've had several cases where I've actually called FedEx and got a FedEx truck stopped and had the package taken off the truck. That was just U.S. currency that a victim had sent. So
That's
but
got to
that-
make you feel good, though.
it makes you feel really good, but
Yeah.
you've got to be quick. You got to be quick with it. You can't wait a month, because that's already going to be delivered and dispersed. So
yeah, in the digital world, the faster, the way better you're going to be.
Well, and bottom line is, no shame in it. I mean, if you're taken advantage of, it is they're so devious and
Yes, absolutely.
so tricky.
And know that this, like, nobody's alone. Like, there's a lot of people in the world that are going
Well,
through this.
that's
So,
another thing. I think they're suffering in silence, thinking I'm not. And a lot of people
Yes.
have gone through this.
so people just need to know that you're not alone. And believe me, there's not going to be an embarrassing story for us. Like,
No.
we're not here for that. We're here to make sure that we either can get your money back or put someone in prison.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Again, so Thursday, 11:30.
Yes.
You and the both of you, along with several other people. I mean,
That's right.
a litany of folks from the district attorney's office to advocacy center. I mean, you go down the list. Anyone that deals with folks who find themselves potentially becoming a victim, or who have been a victim of someone that wants to do them harm.
Exactly.
Thank you all so much.
Oh no, Dave.
It's
Thank
been-
you. Thank you for
It's
having
been
us.
great. Yeah. Again, the Hot Cog building, and that address is
1514 South New Road.
all right. That's at 11:30 on Thursday. You guys will be there, and then again on November 6th for your session
Exactly.
on prevention to prosecution: the many faces of abuse.
Yeah. Basically every 2 weeks until Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and so don't miss a single one of them. Well, stay with us. There is music ahead with Tim Mauzey, and we'll also be hearing from our Act Locally news reporter, Elizabeth Riley. So there's more of the Ann Harder Show ahead.
Revive Superfood Smoothies. Peel, pour, blend, and enjoy, all within the comfort of my own home.
Revive Superfood Smoothies. Peel, blend, and enjoy. Fast and easy, and I'm out the door.
Maybe I didn't love you quite as good as I should have. And maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. If I made you feel second best, girl, I'm sorry I was blind. But you were always on my mind. But you were always on my mind. Maybe I didn't hold you all those lonely, lonely nights. And I guess I never told you. Well, I'm so happy that you're mine. Little things I should have said and done, but I just never took the time. But you were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Well, tell me, well, tell me that your sweet love hasn't died. And give me one more chance to keep you satisfied. I'll keep you satisfied. Well, little things I should have said and done, but I just never took the time. But you were always on my mind. But you were always on my mind.
This is the Sonos Arc Ultra, and this is what you need to know about it. It represents one of the easiest ways to get into high quality home cinema without loads of cables and faffing around. And that's because the Arc Ultra provides full Dolby Atmos without any rear speakers thanks to its sound motion technology. And Sonos is actually calling sound motion one of the most significant breakthroughs in audio engineering in nearly 100 years. It's an amazing setup, it sounds absolutely fantastic, I love the absence of fat. If you're a Sonos person, there's a reason you're watching this video.
Be the best parent to the best S-Pup. For Kitty, we decode more than 100,000 data points, so you know what makes them walk, talk, and act like only they can. Provide the best care and make smart health decisions. Now and forever. Plan better, care smarter, love longer. Wisdom Panel, the world's leading pet DNA service.
The Historic Waco Foundation has announced that all of Waco's historic homes will be closed for the entire month of August for maintenance and detailing. While houses tours are on hold, office hours are still up and functioning, so you can call with questions at any time. Yesterday, the Cameron Park Zoo announced that it will begin vulture management services. The zoo has been experiencing some unruly and unpaying guests recently, being the wild black vultures of Waco. These flocks of vultures have caused some concern for the animals, the grounds, and the guests, so Cameron Park Zoo, in hand with the USDA, has been using non-lethal means of relocation for our flighty friends. Cameron Park Zoo is using sound machines, drones, and even patrons with noisemakers to encourage these vultures to relocate to a new home. Finally, it is National Farmers Market Week, and downtown Waco Farmers Market is celebrating with a giveaway. If you made a purchase at the last Farmers Market on August 2nd, take a photo of yourself and your haul, post it on Instagram, and tag the Waco Downtown Farmers Market account. 5 winners will be entered to receive an Arctic cooler, a $50 market gift certificate, and a family day pass to any local water park.
I'm going to switch to electric piano. Sit right down on my easy chair, pull out a deck of cards, I'm gonna play me some solitaire, break out a bottle and wash me a glass to keep me company till the feelings pass. Well, everybody needs something to do. Me, I just sit here and I'll think about you. It might seem crazy, but I ain't crazy yet. Well, that's as blues can get. Call somebody, someone I can trust. I need a number for Lovers Anonymous. Tell them my story, hope they understand. Maybe they can't explain it because I don't think I can. I took your picture, baby, down from the wall. Try to remember happiness yet. That's as blues can get. Blues as blues can get. Blues as blues can get. Blues as blues can get, yeah. Blues as blues can get, yeah. Blues as blues can get. Take your picture, baby, down from the wall, and try to remember the thrill of it all. It might seem crazy, but I ain't crazy yet. That's as blues can get. Blues is blues can get here. Thank you.
So all you have to do is tap your Popple to the back of someone's phone, like that, and they instantly get your social media and contact info right on their screen. They don't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. With our feature called Popple Direct, you can pop one of your links directly. I turned Direct on for Instagram. Now when I pop someone's phone, it opens directly to my Instagram. So get your Popple today and start impressing everyone you meet. Make it pop.
Deer Valley, where innovative comfort and stylish design meet. Bathroom solutions. Smart toilets. Kitchen solutions. Deer Valley. Stylish living, savvy savings.
Let's be honest. The hemp industry can get confusing with acronyms like CBD, CBG, and CBN. What is CBN? I'm glad you asked. While CBN is extracted from the hemp plant, it does not produce any psychoactive effects or high as seen from THC, and is not habit-forming. At Slumber, we designed our entire product line around CBN because of its ability to help you fall asleep and stay asleep naturally. All of our CBN is sourced from Colorado-grown hemp and lab-tested. If you're new to CBN, give one of our sample packs a try. All of our products come with a 30-day guarantee, so you can sleep on it.
Natural Cycles identifies your fertile window by analyzing changes in your temperature. It's the first FDA-cleared birth control app. No hormones, no side effects, and 93% effective with typical use, and 98% effective with perfect use. Just measure in the morning, add your temperature into the app, then learn which days you can and cannot get pregnant. It's that easy. Learn more at naturalcycles.com.
Thanks for being with us today. Be sure to join me tomorrow at noon when my guests will be Martha and Al Dotson of Dotson Cervantes Winery and Dr. Tyra Lindsay Warren, who will be with us as well, of Marie's. I mean, it's really going to be a fun interview about his journey as a winemaker. So you have a great day. Bye-bye.